Right, hi. Uh, okay, so I've got this idea. I've had this like brewing for like really for years now, but I just thought I'd better put it across as an idea in a vlog. That seems like a good idea. Uh, right, so the idea is like a crowd-funded like concept. This is the only way I could see it working is get like a crowd fund for what it is like a holistic farm based on forget the guy's name, but it's like holistic management where you have like animals moving around. You would find areas where they're not very productive at the moment. You know, sort of almost like desert areas all around the world. You know, you buy up farmland as cheap as possible and apply holistic management techniques where you've got like a chicken tractor, for example, um, near the house where you're going to live. Um, um, and cattle, you know, maybe some goats, but they move round in a certain way so that it makes the land more fertile and hold water better because they people have done research on this. You can find videos about it on holistic management where it's if you use the right techniques, you can make any sort of land fertile by using animals to sort of move around it, right, and keep the soil all churned up and their manure fertilizing everything, you know, and it keeps the weeds down and stuff. So, right, this is one aspect of it. What I'm thinking of is having many layers of aspects brought together in a holistic farm. So it's not going to just be a holistic farm. It's going to be like a holiday resort where people can come, and because of the way that the animals are raised, and people can take part in helping raise the animals and looking after them. So they're going to learn about it, but also they're going to get really good, the highest quality food, pasture raised food, whether it's chickens or cattle or whatever. Okay, you can just add layers to this. Another angle is to grow hemp, right? You can use the hemp to feed the animals. Hi, Johnny. You can use the hemp to feed the animals in the winter time. You know, if you've got no food in the winter for them, all the hemp that you've grown, you can feed it to them. You can keep fish and feed the hemp seeds to the fish so that they've got loads of omega oils in them, so they're going to be really good for you, like trout. You know, like farmed trout, but fed on high quality food, right? Also, if you're growing hemp, what you can do is you set up the whole thing as an experimental like institute, you know, so you can get away with stuff that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do on a normal farm. So it's an experiment, right? It's an institution. You have to get it set up in such a way that you can not only grow hemp, but you can make it into clothing, good quality clothing. There's machines that are patented, and yet no one's allowed to use them unless they're doing it as an experiment. If you're doing it as an experiment and it's like research, it's a research institute, then you can make your own hemp clothing really easily. It's going to last you like 10 times longer than cotton, right? So people can like work on this farm for a couple of weeks as like a timeshare or however long they want, and they can at the same time they can look after the animals, eat really good food, and end up with some really good quality clothing at the end of it, right? And it'll be cheap. It will be, you know, they'll only have to really pay for their accommodation, and they'll have a share in a business that's going to end up producing really good quality food. Yeah, thanks, John. Yeah, okay, so okay, so you've got like all these things coming together. You can also have people like helping you with exercise and supplements and stuff, you know, like have experts, but people can, it shouldn't cost a lot of money, because if people have got a vested interest, you want all different types of people to come, and you will make the most of what they bring. So if somebody already knows a lot about nutrition, they can help other people with nutrition and teach them about it, you know. So that the whole program is going to be like living in such a way that you're going to be really, really healthy. And it's like a holiday as well. So you're going to meet lots of nice people. You're going to get really healthy. It's going to be cheap, you know, and you can take away something with you that you can wear, and it's going to last you a long time, right? What else? Right, as I say, you can keep adding layers. You can, if you, depending on where it is and you know what part of the world it is and what the laws are, it would be nice to be able to get somewhere where you can actually make like hemp oil, cannabis like oil, to cure cancer and stuff, you know. Ideally, I mean, just it's a possibility. I mean, it's not going to necessarily work all the time everywhere, but there's probably places around the world where you can find where you, at least if you do it as an experiment, they will allow you a license to grow cannabis and make oil out of it and treat people medicinally when they come as part of an experimental research institution, you know. So you set, according to how you set it up, you can potentially get away with a lot of stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to do. And if people invest in it, like as a crowd fund, then they're going to have access to these places, you know, and they could spend, you know, several months of the year going to these places virtually for nothing and get really healthy, eat the highest quality food you can get on the planet, you know, and also learn about holistic management as well. And I would like to see these things just grow, you know, and sort of like just keep popping up all around the world, in all countries all around the world. These institutes, like little enclosures, farm enclosures, where people can come and stay like for a holiday for 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, or a few months, work on the farm, eat really good food, and also get medicine and, you know, loads of other health benefits. So has anyone got any ideas about how to set something like this up? I mean, I'm starting off now. I'm just sort of like trying to get it, the idea out anyway, and see what people think about it. Oh, shut up, Johnny. I'm just at that stage where it's like, you know, I'm growing it a bit long. It's just I know it's difficult to do anything with it. It looks like it's unmanageable at the moment. I just have to wait till it gets long so I can tie it back, you know. I know I look like a tramp. Oh dear. Okay, so what I'm hoping for is ideas. Is this a good idea? What I'm talking about, how would I go about it? How do you set up a crowdfunding thing, you know, a Kickstarter thing? I don't really know anything about it. I've not really looked into it that much. Does it sound like a good idea? Would anyone who's watching be interested in investing in something like that? So you might invest in it now, and then 2 or 3 years time, you can go to these places. Oh, another thing. You set it up as another aspect of it that I think is really a great idea, because you can do a lot of stuff all in one place, right? So what you do is you set it up like the 80s, like the 1980s. So you get rid of all the technology. Obviously you can have some technology there, but it won't be available to people whilst they're staying there as a holiday. Because if you have like 1 week living like it was 35 years ago, what happens is your body gets younger, you know, and you feel younger. And, you know, health problems disappear. So this is going to be a great thing for older people and anyone who, it's going to be like a really useful health insurance, You know, if you go to these places like once or twice a year, you're going to stay younger. You know, you're going to live longer and you're going to be healthier. You know, so it's like preventative medicine, but as a holiday. You know, it's so cool, and you're going to eat really the best quality food. I just have to get the idea across to people. If you understand the idea, everyone's going to want to do it. Anyone in their right mind is going to want to take part in it. John's trying to distract me. He's not taking what I'm saying seriously. This is something that you could invest in, John. You know. So yeah, you set it up so you could at least, if for a week while you're living there, you're going to be living like you was in the 80s, in the late 80s. So it's going to be like or the early 80s, you know, like it was 35 years ago. So no mobile phones. You'd have to leave your mobile phones like locked away somewhere. If people want to contact you, they're going to have to come through a normal landline. There's going to be no computers. You're going to live a life for at least a week, which is like back to how it was in the old days, you know. And then when you do that, it literally takes 10 years off your life, you know. So you feel 10 years younger. Just that, I mean, it doesn't matter about the cannabis necessarily, but that, I'm just saying, if you could get the cannabis thing going as well, then you could cure people's cancer as well, and do it as a research thing. It's pretty straightforward. So we'd need a lot of organisation, getting people who understand various ways of dealing with the laws, but also people that understand nutrition, people that understand farming and looking after animals, and growing like, you know, food, you know, like plants and stuff. But these people, ideally, you want people that can invest and have knowledge. So you don't just want anyone to invest. You've got to pick the people that invest, ideally, or try to sort of target people who are going to bring the right sort of skills to this enterprise. Okay. I mean, obviously, this is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of planning, a lot of work, a lot of people, you know. But it seems like to me like a really good way of looking at the future and preparing for the future. You know, if you could start up organizations all around the world so that people, instead of like worrying, like having a pension, you've got an investment in holistic farm holiday organization. If it could actually, because if you've got an investment in them, right, and you could basically you sell up your house, right, and then just go and live on these farms and just move around from one farm to another for the rest of your life, and just live like that, and pass your teaching on, because you're going to be learning stuff, right? So then you learn stuff and you go to another farm, you help set up another farm, you help develop it, you know, and all the time you're basically living for free. And it's like you've got a share in the company, and you've got somewhere to live, you've got something to do. You know, it's not going to be like a high pressure job, because a lot of these things are quite easygoing ways of living. So you can live a really relaxed life, almost like you're on holiday all the time, and eat the best quality food that's as fresh as possible, because it's like, you know, you could just move from farm to farm according to what farm's going to be producing at that time of year. You know, so like, for example, in the summer you might be in the north, you know, and then in the winter you might go south, you know, to sort of stay warm and stuff, you know. And you've always got somewhere to stay. You're always surrounded by people that are like-minded people that have got similar interests to you, people that are very updated on what different supplements and nutrition is good for you, you know. And that's just me. you know, on the principle that two heads are better than one, if I can come up with these ideas, I'm sure there are other people that can bring more ideas and more useful layers to this kind of thing. So it's just like you can just keep building it up. Like holistic farm holidays, for example, you know, just like start a business, holistic farm holidays. Or, you know, or holistic research farm holidays, you know, or, you know, something like that. You might have to call it something so that it's like it's a research institute, so that people, it's not classed as a holiday. People are coming there in you know, from the outsider's point of view. They're coming there to do research, but technically, but what actually will happen is that you'll just basically have a holiday. You'll eat really good food. You do a bit of work. It's like a working holiday, but the sort of working holiday where you're going to get the maximum benefit, just like it was a health farm. Instead of paying like £2,000 a week, maybe you'll pay, you know, £200 a week or something, or, you know, £100 a week, or maybe nothing at all if you're already invested in it. So that's another thing. If you've got investment in the company, then you maybe get free accommodation, so it doesn't cost you anything, you know, and you're just working. There would be some way around working around it so that people can come and work on the farm, live on the farm, and it doesn't cost them anything because they're helping to keep the whole thing going, you know, and their time, they put a few hours in each week to help run the place, so they don't have to pay for it, and they can, in theory, then live on these various farms all the time and just move around whenever they want, and not have to pay for anything, and just live really, really easy and eat really good food, be surrounded by lots of interesting people. I can't really see any bad side to it. It just seems like a really great idea. It would take a certain amount of work, obviously, to set it all up, and money and stuff, but it seems like a good idea. Just let me know what you think. I'm going to stop this video now because I've basically said it all. I'm sure there's other layers of stuff, you know, that could be added. You know, horses, for example. Horses can be like teachers. So, you know, if you've got a nice few horses, they can help with things like people with autism. So families who have got autistic children could come to the farm, and, you know, they could have like therapy with the horses and stuff. You know, there's almost unlimited possibilities, you know, for like a holistic managed research institute, you know, where you're just looking at like ways of, you know, just getting the most out of life in the simplest and easiest possible way. And making an art out of it, you know, making it like a sort of like a science or an art, you know. Okay, then I'll stop it now then. Thanks for watching. Bye.